Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news today, let's take a quick look outside our weather window on this Wednesday. And this afternoon was a beautiful summer day. And here we go to south shore of Lake Chelan and our Lower Butte Sky-Fi Tower camera looking over Chelan. And you can see some of that haze out there. We did experience that this afternoon. But lots of folks, as you can also see, enjoying beautiful Lake Chelan today on this beautiful summer day. And as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to see another day a lot like today as we get into tomorrow, and also a nice one as we get to Friday with much cooler temperatures, partly cloudy skies, and about a 20% chance of rain both Friday and Saturday. Very, very isolated showers. And we'll stay cool on Sunday before we warm back up into the upper 80s and lower 90s as we get into next Monday and Tuesday. Your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Hundreds of lightning strikes last night throughout the Wenatchee Valley started wildfires that crews were quickly able to extinguish with help from heavy rains that accompanied those storms. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is looking for a pair of men they say stole a couple $100 worth of liquor from the Safeway in Chelan on Tuesday. And we'll have a complete look at all of yesterday's area election results. But first, our top story tonight, timely rain helped beat down a lightning-caused wildfire that briefly threatened the town of Grand Coulee last night. The Grand Coulee Volunteer Fire Department said a lengthy lightning storm lit up the skies last night and ignited a 30-acre fire near Grand Coulee Dam switchyard. As numerous agencies responded, there was concern the fire would crest the hillside and burn into town, but soaking rain then arrived to help knock that fire down. Another lightning-caused fire across the river on the Colville Indian Reservation land also was halted by those rains. Well, hundreds of lightning strikes last night throughout the Wenatchee Valley started wildfires that crews were quickly able to distinguish with help from heavy rains that accompanied the storms. Douglas County Fire District 5 responded to a brush fire in the Bridgeport Hill Road area that was limited to about an acre before being knocked down by rain and firefighters. The emergency siren was triggered in Chelan about 6:45 p.m. for a reported fire in the Apple Acres area, but rain had extinguished the brush fire before crews arrived. Another brush fire in Arbuckle Mountain area between Chelan and Pateros was held to an acre by rain and Chelan Fire and Rescue crews. And later, a small brush fire in the Bear Mountain Road area had been doused by rain by the time firefighters arrived. Well, in other news, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is looking for a pair of men they say stole a couple $100 worth of liquor from the Safeway in Chelan on Tuesday. The Sheriff's Office posted a photo of the two young men taken from security footage. In the photo, the two were holding shopping baskets shortly before they reportedly walked away from the store. Anyone with information is asked to call Rivercom's non-emergency line at 663-9911 and ask for Deputy Aaron Shepard. Well, in election news, there were contested school board races throughout the Wenatchee Valley in this month's primary election. The voting period ended yesterday, and the top two vote-getters in each race advanced to November's general election. Michelle Sandberg, the incumbent board member in position 4, was narrowly outpolled by challenger Catherine Thomas at 31 to 32%. Two other challengers, Jennifer Brandt and Joel Martin, collected the remainders. Sandberg is finishing her first 4-year term and running for a second. Other board incumbents ended the night in a stronger position. Maria Iniguez, appointed last year to position 2, had a strong initial showing at 45% against challengers Matt Van Bogart and Tina Irvin. Position 5 incumbent Jilly Norton also ended the night with 45% against contenders Miranda Skaliski and Arlette Lopez Rodriguez. 2 Eastmont School Board seats were also in play. Jason Hines will run against 15-year Position 3 incumbent Annette Eggers in November after scoring 62% of the initial primary vote. John Stu Stewart Jr. and Joe Daw closely split the votes for an at-large school board seat held by Dave Pepple, who announced his withdrawal after the campaign filing period. Well, coming up next, Confluence Health announces it's dumping Premera as an insurer. The Red Apple Fire has changed the landscape of Birch Mountain for the foreseeable future, but in one respect, things are back to normal. 8th District Congressmember Kim Schreier met last week with President Joe Biden at the signing of a major bill to construct and repair veterans' medical facilities. And Winthrop changes its outdoor lighting regulations to promote a dark skies initiative. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Passion, commitment, determination. It's what it takes to win in the Olympics and in life. I'm Jared Sessler, your Republican candidate for Congress, and I'm ready to do what it takes to get Washington and America back on the podium. I'll fight to get our farms, ranches, and businesses back on track so our families can prosper once again. Go to jaredsessler.com to donate and to get involved. I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
Dr. Wayne Latimer's Chiropractic and Integrative Multicare specializes in all level of injury care. If you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, have a sports injury, or a simple fall, call today for a free consultation. They offer a combined multi-care approach with medical, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and acupuncture. For relief from long-standing injuries to basic solutions for the weekend warrior, Latimer's Chiropractic Integrative Multicare is one stop, one location.
Welcome back. In another news, North Central Washington's largest healthcare provider has announced it will no longer accept insurance from the state's second largest provider of health plans. Confluence Health will end its contract with Premera Blue Cross over what it calls, quote, Premera's unwillingness to pay a rate that is consistent with other commercial payers in the market, unquote. The health network, which includes Central Washington Hospital and the Wenatchee Valley Clinics, says it notified Premera of the decision back in April. The separation becomes effective February 1st. Patients covered by Premera plans after February 1st would be considered out of network, and their personal costs for medical service at Confluence would be considerably higher. Dr. Doug Wilson, the incoming CEO at Confluence, said, quote, we had hoped we'd be able to come to terms with Premera and are disappointed they have been unable to acknowledge the vital role Confluence Health plays in the communities we serve, unquote. Well, the Red Apple Fire has changed the landscape of Birch Mountain for the foreseeable future, but in one respect, things are back to normal. The road system leading up to the mountain reopened yesterday. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies had kept Birch Mountain Road closed from the end of the pavement up to the mountain crest while fire crews tamped down the 12,000-acre blaze. The fire broke out July 13th near Monitor and was largely brought under control 2 weeks later. 8th District Congressmember Kim Schreier met last week with President Joe Biden at the signing of a major bill to construct and repair veterans' medical facilities. Schreier was an original House sponsor on the Major Medical Facility Authorization Act, which Biden signed into law on July 29th. The act designates $2 billion to upgrade existing VA medical centers and construct new ones, like the $110 million specialty care building planned for the American Lake VA Center at Joint Base Lewis McChord. Well, its summer tourist season has been canceled by local firefighters, but the town of Winthrop wants to preserve its nighttime skies for future visitors and residents. That's why the town council last month approved dark sky lighting regulations. They're designed to keep light pollution to a minimum. Over the next 5 years, outdoor lighting must be hooded to shine downward rather than upward, and light fixtures would use warm spectrum lamps. The changes will be phased in, and existing street lights won't be subject to the rules until they're replaced. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
My name is Catherine Thomas, and I'm running for the Wenatchee School Board. The school board should work for the parents of this community, and I want to bring the public back to the public schools. I'm a registered nurse, the wife of a medical professional, and the mother of a Wenatchee high school student. I'm running to bring common sense, courage, commitment, and compassion back to the public schools. Vote Catherine Thomas for the Wenatchee School Board.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we.
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So.
Go to chelanpud.org/save today.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. More than 600 people in Washington are now hospitalized with COVID-19. That's an increase of more than 20% from last week. As of yesterday, 20 such patients were being cared for at Confluence Health. The Washington State Hospital Association says the Delta variant of COVID poses a huge challenge and may lead to congestion in waiting rooms and ICUs. In tonight's feature story, Association Director Cassie Sauer says from the look of things, practically none of the hospitalized patients are people who've been fully vaccinated.
Even though there are people who are vaccinated who are getting the Delta variant, they're not getting sick, and those who are getting sick are not vaccinated. I want to say that it is very demoralizing for the staff in the intensive care units and critical care units who are having to care for the very sick COVID patients to do so. It is scary and emotionally draining and very physically exhausting work to care for COVID patients. And to feel like, or not to feel like, to know that this is a preventable disease at this point, that people can take an easy action to protect themselves from getting this sick is really challenging.
All of our facilities in Washington State are very full for all the reasons that Cassie mentioned. And so we've got a topped off system with workers who have been dealing with COVID-19 response for over a year and a half and are really feeling the stress of dealing with yet another surge that is really focused on folks who are not vaccinated, particularly young adults who are showing up in our hospitals and ending up in our acute care units and our ICU units. Here at Harborview, we have 2 people with COVID who are not vaccinated, who are on heart-lung bypass machines. And this has been an unfortunate constant over the last year and a half, just looking at the impact of this pandemic. The important thing is that the vaccines we have, the J&J, the Pfizer, and the Moderna products we have, are highly effective against all the variants that are circulating around now, including the Delta variant.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. Here we are halfway through the first week of August, and boy, it felt like it out there today with those warm temperatures. Lots of folks enjoying beautiful Lake Chelan this afternoon, but we did have to put up with a little bit of that haze, and that's been around for the last couple of days. Maybe one more day of that tomorrow, and then things will scour out as we get into the end of the week. But it was a hot one once again today, above normal with our unofficial high 96 degrees today, 97 yesterday, so we've had a pretty hot week so far this week. 89 is our normal high right now. 66 is where we started our day, and that's pretty much right in the ballpark for our normal low temperature of 64. Record high 109, set back in a very hot 1961. Record low the next year in 1962 at 53 degrees. Precipitation 2.87 inches since January 1st. Sunrise 5:43, and the sun will set tonight at 8:30. Let's take a look at how our Thursday temperatures will shape up. It's going to feel a lot like today, tomorrow as well. Really no differences in our day tomorrow, with temperatures mainly mid to upper 90s for Quincy, Ephrata, and Moses Lake. Ellensburg and Wenatchee will be right at about 95. Leavenworth 93. Chelan, nice day up there again tomorrow. A high temperature of 96 degrees. Tonight we can expect mostly clear skies. In fact, lots of clear skies all over the western United States as high pressure continues to dominate our weather. We're going to see mild temperatures overnight tonight too, with lows primarily in the lower 70s overnight. As we get you into Thursday, mostly sunny skies, maybe a few of those high clouds out there. It's still going to be hot too, with high temperatures as we just talked about, mainly in the mid 90s throughout central and eastern Washington. As we get you into the final day of our week on Friday, a little bit breezy right smack dab in the center of the state. We'll see a 20% chance of very isolated rain showers, and much cooler as we get into Friday. We are talking high temperatures only in the lower to mid 80s for Friday. For Saturday, still that pesky breeze out there. It's not going to be bad though, with a 20% chance of rain, partly cloudy skies, and we're going to stay, we haven't talked about this, unseasonably cool on Saturday, with once again high temperatures lower to mid 80s. And then as we end our weekend on Sunday, boy, I hope you have some outdoor activities planned. Partly cloudy, still cooler than normal, not much wind, and very comfortable with temperatures only in the lower 80s on Sunday. And then for Monday, mostly sunny skies. This big old area of high pressure once again builds back and over the Pacific Northwest, and that will allow us to warm slowly back up, mid to upper 80s for Monday. And as we get into the end of the forecast, sunshine on your Tuesday and a little bit warmer with high temperatures into the lower 90s. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight, 70 degrees for an overnight low, 95 tomorrow, and then the cool down begins. Look at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, lower to mid 80s, about a 20% chance for showers on both Friday and Saturday, and then high pressure takes back over and we will have nice weather on Monday and Tuesday. Sunshine both days with highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Your search for quality patio furniture with excellent customer service is over. Blue Lagoon is proud to offer only the finest outdoor furniture and accessories from some of the most renowned manufacturers in the industry. Our showroom showcases a large selection of in-stock furniture, fire pits, umbrellas, cushions, and outdoor accessories. Our in-house outdoor decor specialist is available to help you design and custom order the perfect furniture for your unique space.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. See their full line of Crown Line boats. Crown Line features the Forte gel coat, which perfectly accentuates the sporty silhouette of this boat. Its contours are further enhanced by Crown Line's patented fast tab hull design, which not only embraces the distinctive sports car styling, but also ensures a safe and comfortable ride. See Crown Line boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. For whatever reason, the Mariners seem to have Tampa Bay's number this year. Seattle improved to 6-0 against the defending American League champions with a 4-2 win last night at Tropicana Field. Yusei Kikuchi gave up a home run to Randy Arozarena in the first pitch of the game, but it was all Seattle from there. Cal Raleigh's sac fly in the top of the second tied the game, and then the Mariners added a couple of long balls in the top of the fourth.
Elevated fastball. Here's Toro. Going to leave the ballpark. Home run, Abraham Toro. And the Mariners take a 2-1 lead. Good for Abraham Toro. Continues to light it up as a Mariners' 9th home run of the season.
He's been swinging it. Nothing cheap about that one.
Abraham Toro making a name for himself here with the Mariners. That's his 3rd home run, 5th RBI since joining the ball club.
Well, here you go. It's breaking ball, and it's middle. Exit velo of 105, 430 feet away.
That's hit well. Center field and deep. Straight away. Giddy up. Gone! Home run, Jared Kelnick. His 4th of the season. And the rookie's starting to feel it.
Well, that's what we were talking about with him. Had a base hit last night. Picked up an RBI. Taking his walks. Also walked last night. Just slowly but surely starting to get on time, especially with the fastball. Exit velo of 105 again and 419 feet.
Dave Sims and Mike Blowers there on the call on Root Sports. Kikuchi ended up going 6 innings to earn his 7th win, allowing 2 runs on 6 hits with 5 strikeouts, a couple of walks. Manager Scott Service certainly happy with the play of his ball club.
Awesome that we have bounced back after a couple tough losses in Texas to come back and play the way we have the last couple nights. I just can't say enough about our crew and how the guys just they enjoy competing. They really do. We've talked about it all year long. Come to the ballpark and we get after it. It starts with our starting pitching, and tonight Yusei Kikuchi didn't think he had his best stuff tonight. We've seen more fastball out of him and sharper breaking pitches, but he really pitched well. Obviously the first pitch of the game goes out of the ballpark, but he settled in. But Seager made a great start of the double play there in the first inning up Nelson Cruz. It allowed Yusei to settle down and kind of get into his game. And then, big inning, 6th inning. We've seen Yusei do that a few times this year where he kind of empties the tank and all of a sudden he's throwing harder in that inning than he had at any point in the game. And, that's kind of what he does. He just leaves it all out there.
After wrapping up the series today, Mariners head for New York to take on the Yankees. Other American League West action, Phil Gosselin went 3 for 5 with 2 runs and 3 RBIs to lead Los Angeles to an 11-3 win over Texas. Padres helped the Mariners gain ground in the wild card race with an 8-1 win over Oakland. Former Mariner catcher Austin Nola led the way and for San Diego, going 4 for 5 with a run and 2 RBIs, and the much-anticipated rematch of the World Series from a couple of years ago. Houston shut out the Dodgers 3-0 as Lance McCullers Jr. struck out 9 over 6 2/3 to earn his 9th win. Well, the Apple Sox earned a much-needed win at West Coast League Baseball last night by a score of 16-6 over Port Angeles. Actually trailed 5-3 heading into the bottom of the 7th when things got really wacky, as we hear from the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox busted out with an incredible offensive performance on Tuesday night as they defeated the Port Angeles Lefties 16-6 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Wenatchee trailed 6-3 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and boy did they have a 7th inning stretch. They scored 12 runs, yes that's right, 12 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, including Jackson Vanderbrink hitting a grand slam. He would end up driving in 5 runs in the victory, and the Apple Sox picked up the series opening victory over the Lefties. It was a chaotic ball game, but the Apple Sox were able to get a lot of offense late. They also set season highs in stolen bases and walks drawn. So a really impressive effort from Wenatchee, and they'll go for the series victory on Wednesday as Cole Hatton will toe the rubber for the 6:35 ball game against the Port Angeles Lefties. And with your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. Another West Coast League play last night. What could be a preview of the WCL Championship. Corvallis topped Yakima Valley 7-1. Knights Ty Uber and 2 relievers held the Pippins to 1 run on 3 hits as they combined for 13 strikeouts. Brock Mortensen, Case Ogata, and Matthew Schwartz each hit homers for Cowlitz as the Black Bears beat Ridgefield 9-3. Cowlitz used 7 pitchers to hold the Raptors to 3 runs on 3 hits with 11 Ks. A lightning storm that moved through eastern Washington probably played a hand in last night's Bend and Walla Walla game. They had to halt things with a 9-5 ball game. Bend on top. They're going to pick that up and finish it today. Bellingham scored 18 runs on 22 hits and popping the Pickles in Portland 18-0. Joey Dixon and 2 relievers held the Pickles to a 4-hit shutout with 11 strikeouts. 4 Bells had at least 3 RBIs, including homers by Cody Schreier, Cole Hinkleman, and A.J. Davis. Well, let's take a look at the standings. Updated here, second half, as Yakima Valley lead is now down to game and a half over Bellingham. Wenatchee's 5 games back in the north. In the south, Ridgefield and Cowlitz trailed Corvallis by 3 games. On the schedule tonight, besides Wenatchee and Port Angeles, Ben hosts Walla Walla, Yakima Valley is at Corvallis, Cowlitz plays at Ridgefield, and Portland hosts Bellingham. Well, the Seahawks were in pads yesterday for the first day of training camp. Defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. says it sounded more like football, with some hitting finally going on.
Close to real football, get a chance to put the shoulders on everybody, a lot more physical. I think the guys have to get used to being in the heat and running and being tired and the sweat over and over again. But I think that their conditioning is very well, and I think toward the end of practice they were high in energy throughout.
New defensive end Kerry Hyder says playing in pads helps them work more on technique.
A lot of sliding off jerseys and really nothing to grab, before we put on pads. So, it feels good to just get into real football, actually putting your hands on people and filling those blocks and really feeling what type of leverage you need to work on and what you need to do. It's without pads, you tend to stand up a little bit, and so now we can really see what we need to work on and where we need to grow.
Seattle was one of the top teams in pressuring quarterbacks in the NFL at the last half of last season. They've added more big-name talent to do that this year, but Ken Norton says, hey, wait a minute. We need to see how effective they're going to be.
Our D-line, we had our first day of pass rush today. So, again, like I said before, we've been out here, it seems like forever, but today was the first day that the pass rush can go one-on-one. So we evaluated tonight. We have a lot of expectations for those guys. They've made a lot of sacks. So we expect them to do really well along with our coverage. But we'll evaluate it. We've only had this practice we haven't seen yet, but we'll just take it one competitive day at a time.
Seahawks have a, scrimmage. That's what they call it. 125 Sunday at Lumen Field. Find out more at Seahawks.com. That's a look at sports. Grant, back to you.
And thank you very much, Eric. And Eric is doing double duty the rest of this week, filling in for a vacationing Dan Kuntz in the morning. So we'll give Eric a chance to get in position. And now we'll check back in with Eric for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Eric?
Thank you much, Grant. Well, coming up on a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, before Dan left town, he had a chance to talk with Jerry Anderson about the need for officials, not just football officials, but all officials. We'll have that for you coming up on a Thursday edition. Also, I'll run down what's happening with the Apple Sox, the Mariners, and so much more as Seahawks prepare for a scrimmage coming up this Sunday. It's all on a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Be sure and join us. Grant?
Thank you, Eric. Get some rest. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
There was absolutely no pressure. It's the first time I felt that in a car dealership. Normally you get in there, you're uncomfortable, they're trying to upsell you, trying to sell you insurance or extended warranties. This was no pressure. I got exactly what I wanted. If you're buying a new car or truck, I highly recommend anyone visit Pat Armstrong Ford in Lincoln.
You're in Sport Country.
Things have changed in the motorsports industry. Short supply and high demand have emptied showrooms. But what hasn't changed are the experts at Doghouse Motorsports. They are here to help you reserve the machine of your choice. Stop by and check out the latest 2022 Husqvarna motorcycles, Ubco, and Intense electric vehicles, and other new additions to the Doghouse Motorsports family of high-quality products.
Over the last year and a half, the industry's absolutely changed, but the Doghouse is still your best option for all your power sports needs.